Hey everybody, Slawdogs Off-Road. I have one question for you viewers. Do you like music? Today's video, we're gonna be focusing on music, whether it be in a side-by-side, whether music that you can use in your golf cart, while riding in your vacation community. You could even use a soundbar on a boat. You know what? You could probably even wire a soundbar up to a scenario where you're outside, whether it be a deck, anywhere you wanna have a party or you wanna listen to music. Regardless of the application, music is everywhere and everybody likes listening to music, right? So today we are going to be checking out KEMIMOTO's Midnight S80 Gen 2 soundbar, and we're going to be installing it in this ZForce 950 side-by-side. Now, anybody that follows our channel knows that I already run a KEMIMOTO soundbar in my side-by-side. I have the Gen 1 Midnight S60, and I absolutely love that soundbar. But because we monetize our music here on our YouTube channel, it makes it very difficult for us to play music while we're out making videos. I usually use this soundbar strictly for the lights. I use it for the rear lights so the guys behind me can see me pretty well in case my tail lights get covered with mud. So it's a great feature. One thing we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be doing a sound comparison. I'm gonna fire up the Midnight S60. I'm gonna let you guys hear it and you be the judge. And then after I install the Midnight S80, we're gonna go ahead and give that a listen and try to do a comparison between the two. I'm gonna try to play the same songs. Now, disclaimer, I do have to play demonetized music that we purchase through a website that we have a membership through that we apply to all our other videos. I can't play anything from like Pandora, Spotify, because most of that music's all copyrighted. And YouTube will give me a copyright strike and we don't want that. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna unbox this soundbar so you guys can get a good look at it. So come with me. All right, I got my trusty knife. We're gonna go ahead and cut this box open. All right, let's get a look at this. Well, the packaging is great, as you can see right here. They even have a box labeled accessories. That's awesome. Who doesn't like accessories? You got your power cable and your remote and some extra fuses. So that's a great plus. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this stuff over here. Orange Crush. We're gonna go ahead and pull this soundbar out. All right. Packaging is awesome. Actually, I'm gonna leave these here to set it on. Man, this is nice. This is really nice. And there she is. That is a very sharp soundbar. So not only do you have your speakers up here, it's hard to count because of the grill, but you also have speakers here. You have passive in the rear. You have an SMA hookup. You have a USB hookup. You have an aux out and also an aux in. And you also have the 12 volt in right here. So this is what my hope is gonna be, is like I said, we're gonna be removing the Midnight S60 soundbar from this side-by-side, and we're gonna be installing this Midnight S80 Gen 2. And what I'm hoping is removing the two Allen bolts from this soundbar, unplugging the power, plugging this in, 2 bolts, and we should be good to go. So it's gonna be an easy install. If you're installing this from a fresh install, obviously you're gonna have to get it mounted up to your roof, okay? Now, one thing I wanna note, CFmoto, the newer Gen 2 side-by-sides, have a curvature to their roll bars. I'm gonna post a link in the description to the clamps that I used to fit the curvature, to fit the KEMIMOTO soundbars for the CFmoto side-by-sides. A lot of people struggle with that. And I'm gonna give you an aerial shot of exactly how I hook the soundbar up so you can see exactly where I position it. But if you're doing a fresh install, it's straightforward. It's the power cord into the unit and you run it to your battery. Now, I also want to mention, and this is no fault of the manufacturers, however, I wish the manufacturers would fix this, because I believe that when you turn these off, they should be off, 100%. Kill it. Soundbars, it doesn't matter if it's KEMIMOTO, JBL, it doesn't matter. Soundbars are always sniffing with their Bluetooth. And I can't tell you how many people I see on Facebook forums, websites, whatever, that complain that, hey, I installed a soundbar and 3 days, 4 days later, a week later, my battery is dead. There's a reason for that. And again, anything that has Bluetooth that has a has power to it, even though it's turned off, is still sniffing for you to turn the Bluetooth on. Just like your home soundbar connected to your TV. It has power to it. It's off, but it's listening or sniffing for the remote to turn it on. That's how these work. What I did, I found out the hard way after installing the Midnight S60. About a week later, my battery died. So what I ended up doing is let me see if this has it. This is the connection into the back of the soundbar. What I ended up doing is I went on Amazon and I bought a 12-volt cord. Looks like the cigarette style. It's a male and a female. And I got a single cord, so it was a power one, red one. And I wired it in between this, which sits behind my seat. And then that way, when I'm done riding and I'm putting the side-by-side away, I unplug that power to the soundbar. You don't lose your Bluetooth connection to your phone. It stays saved, but it disconnects the power to the soundbar, so the Bluetooth isn't sniffing anymore. So keep that tip in mind. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove the roof on this ZForce to gain access to the soundbar. So like I said, it's like 4, maybe 6 bolts. I use a ratchet style screwdriver. This is a great option to be able to get you up in there and you just spin. I keep the bits in the back. I take this out with me when we're on the trail. It's quick to be able to access a battery if you have a loose terminal. These things are awesome. And you can flip the ratchet. You can turn it, tighten or loosen. You can also loosen this and it folds, so you can use it almost like leverage, like a wrench. So these are great screwdrivers to have with you. So I'm gonna go ahead and start tearing into this. All right, let's take this off. Oh, look at that. Roof is off. So the unfortunate thing is, not unfortunate, but when I installed this soundbar, I didn't have this fan. And normally what I do is I climb right inside the side-by-side and I stand up on the seats facing down. Makes it much easier. What I might try to do is slide the fan forward. Even then I think it's gonna be a little too tight. So I'm gonna have to stand on the edge of the rail here and the tire and try to get up in here. But if you look, this is how I mounted. If you see here the curvature of the roof of the roll bar, most roll bars are straight across, and I had to order clamps that kind of put this off at an angle to be able to mount up to the KEMIMOTO soundbar holes. And if you look over here, same thing. So all you're going to do is you're going to loosen up obviously these 2 bolts. You're going to pull this power cord, which has seen better days. We're gonna go ahead and tear this off, get the Midnight S80 mounted up. Stick around. Stick around. Dude, it's hot in here. I'm sweating my ass off. I'm telling you, it is humid. Oh. I'm cool now, thanks to my KEMIMOTO overhead fan. Yeah, boy, look at that. It's very humid here today in Pennsylvania.
KEMIMOTO.
We're gonna go ahead and give this Midnight S60 a sound test before and after. Again, I do have to play demonetized music, so bear with me there. Let me try to find something that's decent. No. It does sound good. All right, enough of that. Not bad. All right, so that's the Midnight S60. So now we're gonna go ahead and throw up the Midnight S80 and we're gonna give that a sound test, so stay tuned. So here you can clearly see the difference. This is a little bit dirty. I'm gonna wipe this off. Here you can see the difference between the Midnight S60 and the Midnight S80 as far as width, as far as the front panel, the side, options in the rear versus this one. I like this one. It has the, don't mind my thumb, I smashed it the other day. This has the well-sealed access panels. So, but yeah, I mean, you can see definitely a difference. And again, I'm not saying that this Midnight S60 doesn't do its job, because it surely does. It works very well. All right, we got the Midnight Gen 2 S80 hooked up. All right, we're gonna go ahead and now give this a listen. And again, disclaimer, I have to use demonetized music. Whoa. The bass is much deeper. Much deeper. Very deep. I'm just shaking the side by side. Look, I got a subwoofer in here. Wow. Wow. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but you know, I could probably mess with the EQ settings and bass is pretty deep, much deeper than the S60. There's a couple things I don't like, unfortunately, about this soundbar. I'm sorry, KEMIMOTO, I have to say it. Let me get out. Let me get out of this. So the soundbar is on, as you can see, and there are multiple light options that you can go through for this soundbar, okay? So it doesn't have a rear light feature, and I'm gonna give honest feedback where feedback is deserved. That, yeah, it's great that there's lights inside the cab, but even this one here, but KEMIMOTO, you should have probably put something along this part down in the bottom. I hate to admit it. Or something, you know, around these grills, but, you know, like I said, I like to use this soundbar as a brake light. You know, it doesn't necessarily function as a brake light, but it lights up as a tail light. That's where I should have said it. Lights up as a tail light. So, all right, everybody, we just finished installing KEMIMOTO's Gen 2 Midnight S80 soundbar in this ZForce 950 behind me. I'm going to be completely honest here, and I know a lot of people want honesty, right? I think vendors want honesty. I have not had the opportunity to listen to the Gen 1 of the Midnight S80, so it's very hard to compare these two, the Gen 2 versus the Gen 1. The other thing that I don't like about the Midnight S80 Gen 2 is it lights up the cab. It's got all kinds of lights. It's got, you know, great lighting features inside, on the sides. Where it lacks is it has no rear lighting. Now, there are a lot of people out there who like to have lighting out of the rear of their side-by-side, out of the rear of their golf cart. And there's for a number of reasons why. Number one, why I like to, I use it as a tail light. It's up high, no mud is hitting it. So if my tail lights are getting muddy from riding all day with our group, I still have some visual. Let's just say it's foggy. They can still see it. It gives that extra luminance of light. The second reason, and this is not for me because I usually don't run music when I'm riding trails, is everybody wants to party and everybody likes to show the party and bring the party. So if you see a group of side-by-sides or a golf cart driving through a vacation community or even a boat and they are approaching, yeah, you got your front lights, but as they go by, it's all about the tail. They want to show the tail. They still have their party moving forward, right? Just like whip lights. So KEMIMOTO, unfortunately, I have to admit, Your products are phenomenal. We run your KEMIMOTO rear windshield. The guys run KEMIMOTO heated products. I run all kinds of KEMIMOTO products in my side-by-side. The tablet mount, cargo holders, cargo boxes, little boxes, everything. But the Midnight S80 Gen 2, unfortunately, I'm not that pleased with. I hate to admit it, guys. You guys want honest reviews? You're gonna get it. I would have spent more time on the options for this soundbar, but unfortunately, what is that flying around my head? All right, it's a carpenter bee. I'm okay with carpenter bees. I don't like wasp and yellow jackets. All right, so. My man's gonna have a stroke. Seriously? It wasn't that funny. Dude, all I heard was this like B-2 bomber flying in my ear. Anyway, I don't even know where I left off. We're gonna end this video right here and now. I got bees coming at me. I got sweat pouring off of me. KEMIMOTO, like I said, you guys make great products. We appreciate the way you guys collaborate with us. We love bringing content to our followers and our viewers. It's a good soundbar, but it doesn't fit the bill for us and for what we would like to use it for. So I reinstalled my Midnight S60. I like having the rear light, and I just, you know, when I want to hear music, I just think it sounds better. The bass in the Midnight S80 is extremely strong. It's very deep. If anybody remembers, like you put a subwoofer in your car with an amplifier, how it vibrates your mirrors and stuff, mine were vibrating. It's got some low bass qualities there for you guys that want to rattle your girlfriend's fillings loose from their teeth. So have at it. Connection was quick. The lights are cool. There's tons of options you can go through for the lights. The sound was good. It's much wider than the S60. Other than that, I don't know really what else to say. So thanks for watching, everybody. Please, if you found this video useful, I'm hoping you found it useful because I think this is our first not negative, but not uppity review. Share it out. Drop us a comment. What soundbar are you guys running? Are you running a JBL? Are you running a KEMIMOTO? KEMIMOTO has a massive footprint. So a lot of people run KEMIMOTO. What soundbar are you running? You want to send me your soundbar and I'll give it a test? Feel free. I'm just kidding. So, hey guys, so after I've finished this video, I went back and I did some thinking. And when I first heard the Midnight S80 soundbar, I was kind of taken back because it sounds way different than the S60. Almost to the point that, you know, I was very surprised with how deep and loud the bass was. And the low tones, you know, kind of drowned out the high tones. And I honestly think it's probably due to my EQ settings in Spotify. So it probably wasn't a very fair test that I did. So I'm going to take this soundbar out. I'm going to give it a rip in the ZForce, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to see exactly how this thing sounds in real world elements out riding on the trails. I got to tell you, the Midnight S60 is a very powerful soundbar. It's way more powerful. I'm going to say it's more powerful than the Midnight S60. It also has more speakers, so obviously it's going to sound a lot different. So I really believe that after talking to KEMIMOTO and adjusting my EQ settings, I think we're going to get a much better result. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe because you're not going to want to miss that video. Now, I'm probably not going to be able to get out for about a week, maybe two, to do that testing with the side-by-side. I highly suggest if you're interested in purchasing a soundbar and the KEMIMOTO Midnight S80, or maybe you're looking at the S60, or maybe another KEMIMOTO soundbar, you might be surprised when we're done our testing. I might be surprised. I honestly feel that I didn't give this its fair chance. I didn't give it a fair shake, and I think I owe it to not only the viewers, but also KEMIMOTO and even myself to go ahead and give this soundbar a really good, true test. And we're gonna do just that. So thanks for watching. Once again, subscribe if you're looking forward to that video. Have a great day.